Hey there, welcome back to Limabean Living. If you guys are new here, my name is Emily. I am, in my third trimester, and I'm due in about a month with my third healthy pregnancy. And this is episode 2 of my little Nest With Me series. In today's video, we will be prepping some frozen pizzas as well as taking care of some yard work. So the first thing I'm doing is actually just milling my flour for the pizza dough. This is my first time pretty much using this Mock Mill 100. We just got this. And while this isn't my first mill, I did have the KitchenAid attachment mill. This is the first time that I'm using one that mills flour super quickly, which is so helpful, especially as I'm trying to make the switch to incorporating more freshly milled grains instead of using the processed flour at the stores. To my bread machine, I will be adding some warm water, sugar, salt, garlic powder, oil, this freshly milled flour, as well as some yeast to make a kind of garlicky pizza dough. And I'm loading this into my bread machine, and I will be choosing the dough setting, which takes about an hour and 40 minutes for this to be done. Now, I'm not filming everything that I did in this day because I'm focusing on things I'm doing in order to nest and prepare for my third little baby to be born. So during the proofing time, I, was making dinner, taking care of my kids, just doing kind of normal mom stuff. But eventually the dough had definitely more than doubled in size, and I may have added a little bit too much water to this dough, but I think in the end it turned out perfectly fine. I added extra water because I know that freshly milled flour absorbs more liquid than the processed flour that we get at the stores. So I did add more for that reason. And while the dough looked a little too airy after that proof, like I said, I think it turned out fine. So I just kind of rolled it out. And I've done this in the past, and I've learned that I need to make this extra thin because you guys will see this does puff up a bit in the oven. And that is why I am using my fork to poke little holes around the dough just to kind of make sure it doesn't maybe rise too much and instead fills in those holes as it bakes. But I'm baking it at about 415 degrees Fahrenheit for 7 minutes. And then I am taking these pizza crusts out of the oven to fully cool. Because these are going to be frozen pizzas later on and we will be baking them again, we don't need to bake this for the full 20 minutes you would bake a pizza for. But while this par-baked pizza dough is cooling down, I am heading outside now that Juan had gotten home and dinner had been prepared, and I will be taking care of some of the bushes in our backyard on our slope. I have already taken care of a number of the bushes on our slope, but after I cut 2 or 3 of these lantana plants, it always fills up the garbage can. And so I had Juan set up our little chipper shredder type thing that I have to feed pretty much one stem at a time so that it could shred down these branches and I could fit a lot more into our trash can so that I can try to get these bushes cut before the baby comes. Now, I know some of you may be thinking why isn't Juan doing this? It turns out he's actually pretty allergic to these plants. I know that when they touch my arms for an extended period of time, I get itchy, but that's just kind of normal yard work itchy for me. But Juan will start sneezing and he'll have a lot more symptoms than I do. And so for me, it just makes more sense for me to be the one to cut these plants. I told Juan I would pick a section of the yard that seemed, safe for me to stand on. And I took care of as much as I could with the daylight that God provided me. I did want to get started earlier in the day, but it was just too warm. And so I waited until it cooled off and it worked out. But sadly, I only got 3 bushes cut before the light was gone and there are still a number of bushes left to be trimmed on our slope. The hardest part, I would say, about cutting these plants, at least at this point in my pregnancy, or just in general, I think because I've done them before and I want to say I've experienced the same annoyance or the same problem, I guess, is just like my calves get really tight from standing at like an angle. And then now with my big belly bending over to pick up bushes and stuff, like that's more uncomfortable as well. So I don't know if I will get to all of these bushes, but I sure hope I can get to at least most of them so that they look nice and green and not like just scraggly and dry and brown. I also finished up the yard work by cleaning up a pile that I had cut previously that just didn't fit into our garbage can, and then I went inside for a well-needed shower. Once I was all showered and clean, I believe at this point Juan was putting the kids to bed, and so I made my way to finishing up these frozen pizzas. Obviously, they're not frozen yet, but that is going to be the next step. The first thing I am going to do is take our par-baked crust and put it on top of some plastic wrap, and then I will be assembling the pizzas just with a basic pasta sauce, as well as some provolone and mozzarella blend like cheese from Walmart. I believe this is like the combo that Costco uses, and I just really love how Costco pizza tastes, so that is why I went with this blend. So this first pizza has been assembled, and we're actually going to transfer it just to a tray for easy transportation. And I'm not going to wrap it with the plastic wrap yet because some of the sauce may stick to the plastic wrap and get a little messy. And we're just going to flash freeze the pizza for about like an hour, hour and a half before I finish wrapping it up. But for my second pizza, I thought I would add some like pineapple to half of it. Let me know down below in the comments if you are team pineapple on pizza. I usually either go for just cheese pizza or I like pineapple pizza. So on this one, I did half pineapple because I had some pineapples in my fridge from a recipe I had made earlier in the day. And I figured, since I have this can of pineapple open, I might as well use some of it on these pizzas. But now we're coming back after that flash freeze and just finishing up these frozen pizzas, wrapping them in some plastic wrap, and then I will be tucking them back into the freezer until after baby is born. One thing I like about making my own frozen pizzas is I can make them however big or however small I want. And as you guys saw, like one batch of this dough made 2 pizzas. And so what I could do just in general when I'm making pizza for my family on a night, we might have one pizza to eat and then I can par-bake the other crust and prepare the frozen pizza this way so that we have pizza for a different night of the week or just in the future at any point. And then when we want to, bake these, you just kind of follow the same guidelines as you would any frozen pizza from the store. I usually bake it at like 400 or 415 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes-ish, until the pizza looks ready to go. And then you enjoy it as you would a freshly made pizza. Now, I do plan on making these again in the future because there is no way that just 2 pizzas is going to be all we need in my postpartum period, but it is definitely a start. But while I finish wrapping this pizza up, I'm going to wrap up this little Nest With Me episode by thanking you guys for watching. I hope that if you are new here, you click that subscribe button and check out all that I have to offer on my motherhood channel. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. That really helps my channel out, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Woohoo! You've made it to the end of the video. If you didn't know already, every Monday and Friday, you can find motherhood and lifestyle content on this channel. And since us moms have to do it all, that may mean yummy recipes, easy DIYs, mom hacks, cleaning and organization, or just a combo of everything. Please know that you are loved and you are made for greatness, and I will catch you in the next one.